This is Steve Knoble, Knoble Moto. What we're doing today is we're changing out the rear brake pads on a early 80s Kawasaki LTD 1100. This is just going to be a mock one. I don't actually have new brake pads, but we're just running through the procedure here. So, only thing that's really holding this caliper on is these two bolts right here. So you can take a 12mm socket wrench, or wrench, unscrew these suckers right on off of there. Now unscrew these bolts out, set them to the side. And then from there, it's pretty straightforward. You just lift the caliper right up off of there. Whoop. Ta-da, pops right out of there. Set that down to the side. You can lift your old brake pad right to there, up, and that one up and out of there. Now before you reinstall, you're going to have to recompress the brake caliper. Now you can either do this with a C-clamp, which is completely acceptable, or what I will do sometime, make sure I'm still in the shot, is I will take the old brake pads and I will put them in here. We're going to use the old ones. So you're going to put them back in here like so. Now we're going to take a flathead screwdriver, and with that we can then twist the screwdriver a little bit and recompress the caliper, the piston, back in there. There you can see it kind of pushing back in. So use the old brake pads, because when you do that, the screwdriver is going to chew up your pad surface a little bit. But that recompresses the piston all the way back in, which gives you the clearance for the new brake pads. Now when you put these back on, you'll see you have these little kind of spring-loaded nut-looking things with the two big flats on it. So they're actually just being held in here by this rubber boot. You want to make sure they move in and out freely. If they don't, you want to pop them out of here. And you can just roll the rubber boot off. I'm going to pop them out, clean them up really well, and put some new grease on them. As you can see, these are already in pretty good shape. Put them back on there and twist the boot around and get it back up into place there. Just like so. Now these flats here catch the flat right here on the caliper, and that's what keeps that from spinning. So you're going to want to make sure the flats on these are both pointing straight up and down. That way when you put the caliper back on, everything goes back in line. Take your new pads, imagine these are new pads, slide them down here. Remember, friction material goes towards the rotor. Slide that down in there. Slide your caliper back over top of it. And start both these in here. Start them with your fingers, and again, make sure the flats are matching the flats inside the caliper. And from there, you can tighten them both up and torque these down to manufacturer's specs. Now you're not quite ready to go ride yet. Now your pistons are backed way up off the pad. So you want to take your rear brake lever, or your brake lever, and pump it a couple times. And as you pump it a couple times, that pushes that piston back in place, moves the sliders back in place, and that makes everything nice and tight. That way the first time you step on the brakes, you have brakes. So, that's all I got.